Welcome back, Double Leg Premium. This is premium members. This is the exclusive show. We're gonna go through our bets for UFC 289, and we're gonna give you a little bit of a breakdown of why we took those picks. So we'll start it off with the main event. Get right into it. Amanda Nunes, Arena Aldana. What do you got?
Man, I'm going underdog here. Amanda Nunes has been in the media talking about how she would be retired right now, but she didn't want to leave her belt with Juliana Pena. And we've seen it time and time again. When fighters are 1 foot in, 1 foot out, nothing good ever happens. The only difference here is, she's the GOAT in women's MMA. So maybe that makes a difference. Maybe it doesn't. But Aldana's got some size. She's got some length, and if she can just be aggressive and get in Amanda's face, have one good round early, and put some pressure and damage on her, I think it could sway the fight. So I'm tempted to put Amanda by sub in there as like a little hedge bet, though. It's plus 260 is what I got Aldana at, only half a unit, so nothing to. I mean, if it loses, it loses, but I definitely think there's a little bit of value on the dog here.
Yeah, I this one's a little tough, but I think it's gonna be a longer fight. Considering Nunes' age, maybe the finishing ability is not there, and Aldana is pretty durable as well. And I know she's had a good amount of knockouts in her past couple of fights, but those are not Amanda Nunes. So I took the over 2.5 rounds at minus 130 for 1.3 units. I think it could be a slow start, and I think Amanda Nunes could go to the ground game early as well to just try to, stop the hand speed of Irene Aldana. And then I took a Nunes by KO or decision at minus 160 for a unit. The submission prop is somewhat of a long shot. If Amanda clips her early, could get her out of there. And then I think if it goes 5 rounds, Nunes will probably have done the better work throughout 5 rounds. So I think
Yeah.
that's a decent bet there. But I do think if the fight does extend and it gets to the third, fourth, and fifth, and if Nunes does have 1 foot out the door, maybe Aldana could outlast her and catch her with something late, or just, the cardio could just take over for Aldana. So I sprinkled. It was too good to pass up. I had to sprinkle some props on Aldana around 3 at plus 2,200 for zero point 0.2 units. Aldana around 4 plus 3,300, and Aldana around 5 plus 3,300 for 0.1 units each. So just sprinkling a little bit there, somewhat of a hedge as well, because I think Nunes is most dangerous in the first couple of rounds, and Aldana, uh, she's never going to go away. This is her spot. She's going to fight till the bitter end, so she could take over later. And then the only thing I got for a prop on that one, no house advantage, is over 2 takedowns for Amanda Nunes, because that's probably the way she wants to go about it. Aldana's boxing is really good, and Nunes probably can't keep up with the pace as far as the volume goes. So she's probably going to look to level change, and I think she should be able to get 2. Co-main event: Beneil Dariush, Charles Oliveira. What do you got on that one?
They know what it is by now. All week we've been talking about it. I got Beneil, minus 130, 1.3 units. It's not like the most confident play because this is like a close fight at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But I do think he can edge him out in the grappling department. On the feet, Charles is hittable. He goes down pretty easily. On the opposite side, Charles is dangerous on the feet. Beneil can get hit. So it's a toss-up, but I'm going to stick with Benny here. Like I said, minus 130 for 1.3 units will win 1 unit.
I pretty much stayed away from this one as far as giving any premium bets out, because I'm a big Charles guy, and I didn't want to give anything that is too emotional of a bet. But I did take the under 2.5 in a parlay with the under 2.5 of the next fight that we're going to talk about, Mike Malott, Adam Fugit. So that's a 2-team parlay plus 105 for a unit, which leads us into the next fight, Mike Malott, Adam Fugit. What do you got on that one?
Yeah, I'm going underdog here. A lot of hype and a lot of talk about Mike Malott this week. But really, man, he's been knocked out before. Adam Fugit is pretty durable. He's tough, and he can take shots, and he can give them too. And you better not get tired on him, because he will push the pressure, push the pace, exactly like he did in the Kinoshita, right? That's
Yeah.
how you say, yeah. In that fight, Kinoshita was a pretty big favorite there. Came in and just got worked right after Fugit landed a big shot. He put that pressure on him, and I could see the same thing happening. Malott doesn't get past the first round often, and we haven't really seen much of him at the UFC level in those second and third rounds. So I'm hoping it goes there. I'm hoping Fugit can just not get knocked out or submitted in that first round and has a better gas tank. So I got him on the money line at plus 185 for 0.85 units. And then I also took him round 2 KO plus 1600 and round 3 KO plus 2100. Let's see. Round 2 KO, I took him for 0.25 units, and then round 3 for 0.1 unit. So a little bit of a sprinkle. The 0.25 unit bet, though, in the second round, if that thing hits, we're going to be sitting pretty.
I like it. I was leaning Adam Fugit all week. I couldn't get to it because I just had this feeling that's like they're setting Mike Malott up so hard. Could he fumble it? Absolutely. But I didn't know if there was enough to like chew off there as the dog for Adam Fugit. But I did go plus. So we're on Underdog Fantasy now. If you want to use the code HeyJive, you'll get a deposit match there. But these new props we're looking at, plus 11.5 significant strikes for Adam Fugit, basically meaning he can give up 12 or less than, he can give up 11 strikes in the total significant strike number. So if that makes sense, basically it's like a spread, but it's significant strikes compared to Mike Malott. And then we took Mike Malott under 1.5 takedowns because I don't think he can get him down. I think Fugit is a strong dude. He's a big dude. He's probably going to be tough to get down. And I think Mike Malott might have the crisper striking on the feet because Adam Fugit's pretty active on the feet, but Mike Malott might be a little bit more technical. So he might not even want to take it to the ground. But if he does, I don't know. I mean, I don't think he gets him down more than once. And it could be a short fight. So that's all I got on that one.
For the spread, so you mean like just so everyone else at home's clear. So like let's say Mike Malott has 60 strikes, then Adam Fugit would have to have at least 49. Like if the spread's 11. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. So he's got to be within 11 strikes, significant strikes of him.
Yeah. So if it's a plus, meaning he can have less, but he can't have less than 11 or more than 11. More than 11 differential less than him. That's probably
so basically just act like the significant strikes is a score. So
just look at it like an NBA game.
Yeah,
and look at it and just look at the total score, significant strikes that way. So it's another avenue that I think we can take advantage of. So
definitely
we'll be looking at that. Next fight, Nate Landwehr and Dan Ige. This one I have another significant strike spread. We got plus 4.5 significant strikes for Nate Landwehr. And then for the straight bets in this one, I got Dan Ige round 1 KO at plus 500 for 0.4 units and Dan Ige round 2 KO at plus 700 for 0.4 units. That's the only thing I thought was worth it. I didn't want to go Ige on the money line. I didn't want to go him by KO. I think if he does it in the first or second round, early in the second round if he does it, because that's when he's most dangerous. That's when he gets his KOs, and that's when Nate Landwehr is vulnerable, like early when he gets caught. And if it's Dan Ige, if he catches him, he might not be able to withstand that type of power or that type of onslaught that Dan Ige could put at him. But that is a definite live betting spot I would look at if you like Nate Landwehr after round 1 or into round 2, because he lost the first round to Austin Lingo. So I mean, if we're looking at Dan Ige, who is levels above Austin Lingo, that's definitely a spot that I like. So I got to go with 50K Ige. What do you got?
Yeah, I'm on Ige too. Nothing crazy. No big bets here, but I got him in the second round by KO plus 800 for 0.2 units. And then I also got him in round 3 plus 1,300 for 0.1 units. Same reasons as you. I just think, Landwehr might be tough, but if it gets to round 3, man, I'm going to be hoping for like a doctor stoppage because he wears damage. Ige hits hard, something along those lines. I could see anything like that happening. So those last 2 rounds we're praying for.
Eric Anders, Marc-Andre Barriault. I believe we're both on Barriault in this fight. I got him at minus 120 for 1.2 units to get a unit back. And then I got him over 63.5 significant strikes in the no house advantage play. And that's basically thinking he's going to withstand any kind of onslaught that Anders puts on him in the first round. And I don't think Anders can continually keep up a pace like Anthony Hernandez would against him if he's going to go in there and try to wrestle him. So I think, rounds 2 and 3, he could take over and win a decision. It's in Canada too. So I think that the judges might be a little bit more lenient on his side. So I'll take him.
Yeah, I like that too. I think it's going to be a close fight, but I like the cardio of Marc-Andre Barriot, and Eric Anders just seems to get heavy as the fight goes on. With he's got a lot of muscle. He's a big dude. Sometimes he slows down. Marc-Andre's the power bar. He's going to be there all 3 rounds. I think he'll have the volume too. So I got him on the money line -125 for 2.5 units. I like him a lot.
Yeah, I look at this fight a lot like the Jin Young Park fight with Eric Anders. It's like he's probably going to be looking for takedowns and clinch. That was in the Apex. This is going to be in a big cage. I don't think he'll be able to keep that up. And he lost that fight. The activity of Barrios is definitely worth a shot. Nasruddin Imavov, Chris Curtis. I got Imavov by decision at +140 for 0.6 units. And then I got Imavov on the money line at -155 for 1.55 units to get a unit back. I think if he wins, he probably wins by decision. I think Chris Curtis is durable enough to withstand any kind of power, and I don't see him taking him down. So I think it's probably a 3-round fight. Therefore, I'm going with the higher than 62.5 significant strikes for Imavov on underdog as well, because Chris Curtis is just super easy. He could tend to get hit. And if it's 3 rounds, Imavov should be able to get that pretty easily. So that's my pick. This is a terrible matchup, I think, for Chris Curtis. Yeah. If he wins, I think it's got to be a knockout. But Imavov, it's never been knocked out, knock on wood. So I don't see it happening. What do you think?
Yeah, if it does happen, I could see him, hurting him with body shots late in the fight because Curtis is usually there all 3 rounds. So all I have on this fight is Chris Curtis round 3 KO because it was +3,000. It's crazy. So for 0.1 unit to win 3 units, I see a world where, maybe Imavov gets a little tired like he did against Strickland, and then Curtis can find those big body shots and hopefully put him out. So that's what I got.
That's
nothing crazy though.
That's a pretty good hedge. If you're gonna tell me, that's not a bad hedge to throw in there, because I'm on Imavov, not super heavy but decently heavy. And that 3rd round KO, that's a good prop to hedge out with. Jasmine Jasdavicius, Miranda Maverick. The only thing I got on this one is Miranda Maverick in a parlay with Blake Builder. I ultimately went with her. I didn't really like the price early on in the week, but I just look at the level of competition that she's been facing compared to Jasmine. And Miranda Maverick, she's been around for a while. She trains with some of the best at Elevation Fight Team, I believe. So I think she gets this one done. Worth it to throw in a parlay. Straight up might be a little too much, but I'll take her. What do you got?
Yeah, no, Maverick's so young too for being around for so long. Like she's constantly going to be getting better. So I think she wins too. I didn't take her in a parlay or on a money line, but she's got 8 finishes on her resume, 7 by submission. Jasdavicius, if she's smart, she's going to want to try to get this thing to the ground. And in the process, I could see Maverick finding a submission. So I got Maverick by sub +420 for 0.25 units.
Eamon Zahabi, Arichi Long. This is going to be the free play of the week that we're putting out there. We got Arichi Long on the money line. I got a -110 for 1.1 units to get one back. You were talking about him being the more active fighter on the feet, and I definitely believe that as well. It's probably going to be a fight on the feet, so I like him. We just got to hope we don't get a shitty decision because he's going against the Canadian. But how much you got on him?
I got 2.2 units on him. I just think he's a little more aggressive, like with the striking, slicker on the feet, more fluid. Definitely with the footwork too. He just can't get caught. Like, he cannot get clipped. Rush in there and just take a shot, kind of like Draco Rodriguez did. But he's a lot better than Draco Rodriguez. I think Arichi Lang is a good 2-2 fighter in the UFC. He's lost 2 fights to 2 good fighters, and he's beat 2. But he looks really good at times. So yeah, I'm pretty confident in him.
He's never been knocked out either. So knock on wood. Blake Builder, Kyle Nelson. As I said earlier, the only thing I got is Blake Builder on the money line in a parlay with Miranda Maverick minus 107 for a unit. I just think he's better all around, and he should definitely get this win. Kyle Nelson probably shouldn't be in the UFC. They say he's been training pretty hard for this fight, but I'm not willing to bet on that. So I'm going to take Blake Builder. What do you got?
Yeah, the only thing I got on the Builder or Dvorak fight is those two in a parlay. I wanted to really, well, actually, I lied. I got Builder and Dvorak in a parlay for minus 107 for 0.5 units or plus 107. Yeah. And I think Builder, should get the win. I think he's getting set up for a win here. Kyle Nelson might be tough. Maybe he's getting a little bit better, but Builder just seems like one of these kids who's going to rattle off some wins early on in his career. So yeah, I got him in that parlay with David Dvorak.
That leads us into the David Dvorak, Steve Erceg fight. The only thing I got on this one is Erceg inside the distance at plus 400 for 0.4 units. So just a little sprinkle there. I think the finishing ability is there. And if this fight does get finished, I think it's Erceg getting the finish. So I think at plus 400, it's worth a little sprinkle. Because who knows? Maybe this guy's just a wizard. I know he's not fighting the best competition out in Australia, but could happen. Could definitely happen. It's flyweights.
Yeah.
Get a lot of variability there. So, got anything else on that one?
Yeah, Dvorak in that last part of that parlay, just because, he's got 2 losses, but before that, he won 16 straight. So the guy's at least decent. I think he should win. But if Erceg wins, I definitely see it being by finish. And I think submission is likely if he does win. That's plus 700 for 0.25 units.
I forgot. I do have significant strike spread for that fight as well. I got plus 14.5 significant strikes for Steve Erceg. Basically, just because Dvorak is pretty low volume, and this could turn into somewhat of a grappling match. Both guys are capable grapplers. Erceg's got the submission skills for sure, and if it's on the feet, I think they'll be a little bit hesitant. Dvorak's super hesitant on the feet when he's striking. So, yeah, I got that one. Let me just go over the underdog and the no house advantage play so they know what is paired together. Higher than 62.5 significant strikes for Imavov, paired with plus 4.5 significant strikes for Nate Landwehr. That's 3x for a unit. And then the other play on underdog, plus 11.5 significant strikes for Fugit, paired with plus 14.5 significant strikes for Steve Erceg. That is 3x for a unit. And then we go to the no house advantage play. Over 63.5 significant strikes for Barrios, over 2 takedowns for Nunes, and under 1.5 takedowns for Mike Malott. That is 6x for a half of a unit. And that completes my betting card because I didn't want to put any money on the Belbita Maria Oliveira fight, but looks like you did. What'd you got?
I did. Listen. I had to and it's one of my smaller plays on the straight bets. I had to just because we've been hot with the first fights of the night recently. And I was on Belbita all week, and I put it on my card, and I erased it because I'm going with my gut. And my gut, in the past has been right, where I take a fighter, and I think that was a bad idea once the fight starts. And I have that feeling with Belbita. So I'm just going to trust it and go Maria Oliveira. I think on the feet, she's a little longer, a little quicker. Maybe she didn't hit quite as hard, but I don't think Belbita has the power to put her out. So I think Oliveira just racks up the points. I think she gets it done here. I really do. She kind of looks slick at times. She comes forward. She's more aggressive. Yeah, I like her here.
That is your coin flip fight of the week. Those are our bets. If you're watching this before, wish us good luck. Good luck to you. If you're watching this after, hopefully we cash some tickets. But this has been the Double Leg Premium exclusive show at the Double Leg on all the medias. Keep up to date there. And if you're in the Discord tomorrow, should be popping. So till then, good luck, everyone. And let's cash some bets. UFC 289.